Hello folks, we have ourselves a 6-player game on USA, baby. A little bit of an unusual config too. This one's a bit more like a tunnel with red being out of the game. Makes the West Coast a lot more linear. Alright, so we have me, Mastaba, amitss1, jonflagg, ligtreb, and dionis4ever. So with 6-player games, you really have a chance. You have a chance to get big plants early. So I really like bidding for 3 and 4, hopes of good drops. What also makes this interesting is that the last player in the auction, which sadly is not going to be me, most likely. Last player in the auction can actually get 13 as their starting plant, unless 11 or 12 comes in. 12 is still a fine starting plant. I'll bid 7 for this. I'll see if amitss or mastaba wants to bid. There we go. What I'm trying to do is this. With how 6-player works, I'm trying to see if I can get both amitss and mastaba to buy plants below me, so that I can set myself up to start with the 13. That's what I was thinking here. Okay. Unfortunately, if Dionis bids for the 3, then that wouldn't be most likely. So the deal here is you only need 6 cities to trigger step 2 in 6-player, and it only takes 14 cities to end the game. But yes, to explain the players a little more, I mean, amitss, mastaba, me, you've seen us all on this channel a lot. Ligtreb is a new player, pretty new. jonflagg is a longtime veteran with an, okay-ish win rate. Ooh, Dion bids for the 5. That makes me happy. And dionis4ever is a player who actually found my YouTube videos and has started playing on here since then. Wow. Oh no. Ligtreb, dang it. Why'd you have to bid for the 5? Anyway, I'm not touching the 5, obviously. So, will John bid on this? Will John bid on this? Let mastaba bid. Mastaba's... Ooh, I see the game now. I see the game now. What mastaba's doing here. Well, I definitely pass this. Because mastaba now is going to get that 13. Luckily, though, I get the 10 with some pretty darn cheap coal. So I'm still happy about that. And mastaba gets his 13. That's what he was... He realized that that's what he could do. So ligtreb ended up getting a steal for the 3 plant out of all that. Could pay off here. Because we got some pretty big deal plants coming here. Although, one of them, 31 going under the deck is a pretty big deal for the 5 and 6 player games. Those early 6 capacity plants become a lot more important in 5 and 6. More so in 5. You can still get endgame capacity in 6-player games without one of the 6 plans. You need 14 versus compared to like 15 cities in the 5-player. So now my hope here, yes, is that Dionis doesn't buy extra coal. Cool. Now I can actually I can afford to store an extra coal on the 10 and still build 2 cities here, which is really unusual. Because normally people just buy max coal on both the 4 and the 5. Yeah. 13, being able to open 13 is quite strong, though. It wasn't guaranteed to come, but, you know, because only 11 and 12 could have blocked it. 12, I think, is still worth buying there, but if the 11 had come, that would be the nightmare with how expensive uranium is at the start here, as you can see. You're obviously not going to buy the 11 as your first plant, so in that case, I think Mastaba would have had to buy the 8 in that scenario. It gets you decent spot in the turn order and drive up coal for me, so reasonable play. Ligtreb opts to build in this safe, cheap corner here. Although I might have built in one of the twins instead of Atlanta if you were going to do that. I don't know. And there's Emmett going for that Pittsburgh build again. Makes sense. Like, the direct connection from Pittsburgh to Raleigh is quite useful. That's an easy one for beginners to miss, but it's really good at getting you down into... Because you can basically get yourself into, like, all the cheapest parts of the map this way. We're talking about how in 6-player game, like, a lot of players don't like to play 6-player on the France map, because if you do that, then the player at the bottom of the turn order is guaranteed to get the 11. But that's actually not as big a deal as people like to say here, I think. I'll try the Chicago-Minneapolis here. Try this way. I wonder if Mastaba might build one of the twins there. Savannah, Jacksonville. The way I see it, Mastaba has to build either somewhere in this area or go in here, and I think here is kind of weak. He does go there, though. I've tried that build to counter the Billings 1 build in the past, and it's never really worked for me. You just end up with such expensive cities after those first two with the free connection. Ooh, 17. That's a beauty right there. That's exactly what I wanted to see, because that can help stall the market a little bit for this turn. Mastaba building 2 there. I mean, that does kill one of the main advantages of the 13, the ability to build 1 and still get good in the turn order. It's just that the problem was that all the other players before me built only 1 city, so there wasn't really an advantage to be gained. There wasn't much of an advantage to be gained from only building 1 with the 13. That would only move him below me in the turn order, which isn't worth much, because I'm likely not going to buy a plant on this turn anyway. John goes for the 8. There's that 20. Very tricky plant to manage. Very tricky plant to manage here this early in the game. I think you can do it with the 5. With the 5 it can work, though, because you can just stay at 1 city and run oil on the 5. And then hopefully on the next turn you should be able to get up to 3 cities and power them with your 20. 22. All right. There was a... I think Dionis got the 20 at cost, which is pretty good for 6-player. Ooh, ligtreb kind of got screwed there. Really got screwed. 24 is not good yet. It's going to take a couple more turns for 24 to get good. Also, notice how like the restock rates just get ridiculous in 6-player. This is how much per turn for each resource. Even in step 1, it's just so high. And it's meant to balance with the number of players. Now, ligtreb in the spot really needs to buy a plant. I think I would just go for the 7 in their spot. You can buy the 7, build a second city. 24, really? I might have bought the 7 and just, gone for a second city. 7, like, I think it probably, like, breaks even in money or maybe even makes a slight profit compared to the 3. But I get what ligtreb's going for. Staying at 1 this turn, and then... dionis4ever. Opting not to buy extra coal. But they do want to build... See, I'm not a fan of only powering 2 cities with the 20. If that's all I can get, I'd rather just stay at 1 city and use my other plant if it's not burning coal. Emmy can probably build a 3 now. Oh no, Emmy builds... Oh, Emmy goes for, yep, that rally connection that I was talking about before. That's, like, the best. Dionis needs to eye a jump into here at some point. But nope, blocks Detroit instead. Boo. I mean, I expected it. Still not the greatest thing for me, but I expected it. John goes for Boise, which is odd. I would build Seattle for sure if you wanted to build a second. Oh, Mastaba continuing to overbuild with that 13. There goes my Omaha, but hey. So what I have to look for now is... St. Louis is more useful than it looks here. Because of that connection to Atlanta, you can look at this for a potential jump into green at some point. Fargo should be my next city, though. I think I would eye like Fargo, then St. Louis. Yeah, notice how quickly the map gets crowded here. Ooh. Well, Mastaba has to buy 16. That's bad news for him, though. Unless John falls for this, but no, John shouldn't fall for it. Ooh, 25. All right. Okay. So I should be able to win one of these plants here, hopefully. I'll bid a good amount for this. Look at how much money I have after 2 turns, having built 2 cities. This is the most I've seen that I can recall. Usually you end up with below 60. Or if you started with the 8 plant, like if you start with the 8 plant in a 3-player game, you don't buy a plant turn 2, you still end up with only like usually like 62, 63, so after the second turn, so this is really good. That's power of a 10. Like Dionis cannot buy this plant. You cannot touch 25, Dionis. You have to pass. Also, speaking of which, I'm really glad I'm below Dionis here. This is exactly why in Dionis's position, I would have just used oil on the 5, stayed at 1 city. That keeps you low in the turn order. So then you can go from... So then you can get cheaper coal and build on the following turn. Dionis does the right thing and passes. Anyway, I have to bid. Yeah. Like, I'd pay 30 for this, sure. Because I can still easily get a 3rd city this turn. In fact, depending on how this goes, I should even be able to store extra coal and still build a 3rd. Which I'm looking at Fargo. Duluth is ever so slightly cheaper, but Fargo gives me it blocks a connection into the Midwest for John here. That Billings to Fargo connection, that's quite useful. So I'd like to block that. So these folks here need to bid for 26 now. 26 has to go for a lot of money. The problem is Dionis and Ligtreb are not in a position to bid. Please bid. Please bid. Please bid. Please bid. If Emmy gets 26 this cheap, like, it's gonna probably win the game for him. Bid. Just bid one more time. Bid one more time. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay, now I'm happy with my 25 there. Although that is a sweet drop in itself, though. Like, You can definitely buy this in Dionis' position now. Try to take the pressure off Cole. John should bid for this, though. I think John should bid. And this is why you kind of had to bid there. Really weird that John's not fighting for any of these plants. And now ligtreb is gonna build somewhere. John's gonna buy coal. I just hope he doesn't buy extra. Beautiful. I still get a $3 coal. Sweet. Okay, cool. I can buy 4 coal here and still get to my 3rd city. Beautiful. At least there's going to be a lot more competition for oil now with 21 being in the game. 21 and 16. So 26 is not going to be like this instant game winner or anything. I'd say I got a really damn good value for the 25. Dion's getting both 20 and 21 at cost could be a problem, although he's going to have a tough time with builds. Yeah, Emmett and Dionis have really good sets of plants for the values they got. Tricky thing for Emmett will be how to use the coal, since he bought so much extra that he's not using. Now John buys 15. Okay. And neither of these two players can buy a plant right now at all. So... But I mean, look at this. We're only 4 turns into the game, and look at how quickly the market's moving here. It's just, that's the effect of having 6 players in there. That's also a big reason why the early capacity strategies aren't quite as strong in 5-player as in 6. I mean, in 6-player compared to 5-player, because... In 6-player, the market's just going to move more quickly by virtue of there being more players, more people wanting to buy plants. So you're not as likely to get a big market stall. Coal is just, I mean, oil is staying fairly cheap for now. Also, I have no idea why jonflagg's not building Seattle. I mean, he will this turn, I bet. I'm definitely going to buy the $4 coal at minimum here. Because Dionis' move at this point, I think Dionis would want, like, Knoxville and Buffalo. Yeah, I just don't see those other cities being a priority for anyone else right now. There's Dionis. Okay, that's a. If you can pull that off, I do think that was probably the best build. The best build for Dionis. Or dionis4ever. It's probably just Dion. I keep saying Dion. I'm reading as Dionis when it should be Dion4ever, is how the name probably is meant to be read. Anyway, John Black. I assume John builds Seattle now. Otherwise, Mastaba's going to jump there. If you don't. Yep, there we go. No! I should have seen that coming. I don't know why I forgot about that with Mastaba. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm not getting to 5 cities anyway if that's getting built. Shit. This is really bad, though. I almost wonder if amitss1 might want to burn the coal sitting on the 4, like run 4 and 22 this turn, since he only has 4 cities. He could just use the coal, burn some of that coal to power 3 cities, and get rid of extra resources, compared to using oil. Next turn he can get full value from that 26 there, most likely. So I need to eye somewhere to build here. $18 doesn't really do anything for me right now, so I'm not going to bother with that. And now 24 is getting pretty good for ligtreb. I still don't think the early money deficit was worth taking 24 at that point. We'll see. Lig does have a lot of cities, though. And yeah, Mastaba needs 18 at that point. That makes sense. So now I'm deciding. Here's what I can do. Do I make a big jump so I can get to 5 cities and potentially make money? Or do I stall at 4? Do I stall at 4? I'd be looking to buy 29 next turn for sure if it stays on. Because that'll let me just stall at 4 and power more efficiently. Okay, so all resource buys up to me. And I think at this point, I'm actually not going to buy any extra here. Because coal is getting really cheap now. And I should drop in the turn order here. I'm suspecting that Dion will... I think Dion might build above me this turn. And Mastaba is triggering step 2, which makes a lot of sense for him. He's one of the players who really... he has a good amount of money. He needs to move the market. So, right move for him for sure. And also, like, he can get the southwest, and he has the inside track for the northwest as well. So, he's not worried about getting blocked in step 2 for builds. Makes a lot of sense for him to do that. So, I'm going to be, looks like second from bottom here. I don't get Dion's 6th city. That's the part I don't agree with. So yeah, I'm definitely right to stall here. I would have to pay a lot of money for a huge jump just to get a 5th city. And I would lose out on turn order with that, I think. Or rather, I could just wait till next turn and get cheaper builds. And Amit goes for the decent side. I mean, I guess it's a small jump. I guess you could say. I never marked 24 off, by the way. No. $30. Ooh, boy. Well, that's clearly the prize here. The big prize. Because now, Trash Restock goes up to 5 per turn, so we can have 30 and 24 both running, and Trash will actually stay sustainable at its current price. I'll click on this while it's cheap, but my thinking is, with any of the 6 plants, I feel like they'll go high up enough in cost that I will want to pass and just take 29 instead. because that fits better with where my money's at this point. I can get more use out of 29 on this turn. Just keep bidding on this. Yeah, I think I'll pass now. There's a few players who need this more than I do. Mastaba really needs this. Like Mastaba and John. Well, John and Ligtreb a little bit less so. But they all need it more than I do. Like I said, I have my eye on 29. Because I have a suspicion that's going to go real cheap. Unless a dud drops. Well, hopefully these other people pass on 29 and I can just stick in a bid here. And notice how cheap all the resources are at this point in the game. That's normal for 6-player. Like, the restock rates for 6-player, I would say if you wanted to redesign this game, you might arguably want to put them a little lower. Because there's more players in the game, so you think like you want it to be a little bit higher. But the issue is with more players in the game, you also get more efficient plants being bought earlier in the game. And that does a lot to reduce the pressure on resources compared to smaller games. A Mastaba puts in a bid for 29. I think that's pretty smart. I'll bid. Okay, there's 32. Well, 32 at least should get bid on heavily with all these players in the game. Because again, a lot of people can use this plant. Hopefully this gets driven up real high. Considering how high 30 got taken, I'm expecting this might go for more than 30. Possibly. Oil has a higher restock rate than trash, so... Please bid. Please bid for this. Please bid. Please bid. Yes, this plant's really good. Bid for it. We have a really decent chance of 34 making it onto the market. Oh my god. Mastaba gets it, followed by a dud, so Mastaba might be the favorite in this game, to be honest. Although he has to use both 32 and 16 together at some point, which is not going to be fun. But, ugh. 32, that's still such a great value, though. Alright. I definitely have to store my maximum oil. Because there's going to be a lot of oil used in this game now. At least ligtreb can't really block me too bad, so I'm going to see if I can expand somewhere east or south. Preferably East Coast if I can get it. That's more crowded. I'd like to get more of the cheap stuff there. If I can. Question is, does ligtreb build east or north? I mean, obviously I'm hoping that they build east. Raleigh, Norfolk, like this area, they build here. They're clearly gunning for just 6 cities, considering the fact that they bought 3 trash and no oil. They must be planning to get to build to exactly 6 here. I thought Emmett might be in a really good spot before, but now he's much less so. With that dud coming after 32, and like he was in an awkward spot because of having coal stored. All that coal stored on the 4, it made it tough for him to bid for another plant. So he's clearly going to build to 8 this turn and burn some of that coal. Masto is the player I'm most worried about, so I would like to block him east. That's what I'm eyeing here. Yes, please do that. Okay. I think I do it this way. Right. Cincinnati is more useful to me than Detroit if I'm going to be doing this, so I might as well do that. Even though it's $1 more expensive connection to Pittsburgh, I think this is the better route, ultimately. There we go. Wasn't even sure I could make it to 8, so yeah. I get a really good value from these plants here. And Mastaba wants to block me westward, which makes sense. Oh no, John is. John's building before Mastaba. Mastaba, I expect, will try to at least get into Chicago. John does not build to 8. All right. I guess the price of 30 versus 32 is more justified than I thought. I thought 32 should go for at least the same price as 30, but we do have enough oil elsewhere in the game. Also interesting that Mastaba maybe... Wow, is Mastaba not as rich as I thought? I really would expect him to be able to at least build to 8 to use that, get full use out of the 32 plus 18 this turn. If he can't even afford 8, then I do feel a little better about my chances here. Man, I gotta say, coal's gonna end up being cheaper than oil at this rate. Which I obviously welcome. Emmy doesn't build. Interesting. I would think you want to build just so you can make some money off that coal that you've been keeping forever. That's been keeping you from buying other plants. Because you don't want to lose that coal. Look at how few turns we are into the game right now. Also, market stalls again because 27 is going to come on next turn. Even if these other plants aren't drawn, that's still going to be probably another turn of it blocking a big plant. We are set up in such a way, though, that 34 might come onto the market. There's part of the equation. What's interesting is we don't have a clear capacity leader right now. I'm expecting to drop drastically in the turn order after this turn, so I think I might not buy extra coal again. Yep. How much coal comes back into the game per turn? Is it 9? 9 per turn at this stage of the game in step 2 in a 6-player. I'm not so sure John needed to buy extra there. We are ensuring that that coal still stays cheaper than oil, though. Which is killing amitts. I mean, that's killing amitts' chances, because 26 was quite a bit more expensive than 30 and 25 at the time. And 25 is turning out to be the more efficient plan of anything. But yeah, I'm expecting to drop in the turn order a lot, so I'm not going to buy anything extra. I should be able to get cheaper resources in the next turn for sure, given these high restock rates here. So what I want now is for Dion to build a 9th. There we go. With me getting Pittsburgh, that's a valuable jumping point into the south here. But Dion is just overbuilding now, so not happening. South is not happening for me. I'd have to look at maybe West Coast now. But Mastaba, I think, will build Billings this turn. So that's going to be a little tricky for me. Emmy's really committing to this turn order plan now. He's losing out on a lot in cities for it, though. Which means I build New York. Assuming it won't hurt my turn order too badly. Never mind, never mind. Ligtreb is jumping into New York and all that, so, yeah. Okay. Well, do I play the turn order game now? As long as if I can stay below Mastaba, I think I mean, like, if Mastaba just builds to 8 and stops there, I think I don't build. And that's what he's going to do, yeah. I'll just have to take the drop below him in the turn order, I think. This could be that market stall, though. This could be that market stall. Well, we're running out of chances for 34 to come onto the market. Here's what I'm looking at. Here's what I'm looking at for this now. Dion opting to buy. Well, I don't want none of this then. Hey, there's that 34. All right. So 1 in 3 chance 35 comes onto the market after this, 2 in 3 chance of a dud that nobody else is going to buy. Yeah, I'm not ending the game this turn, which tells me I should bid for this. I'm just trying to like look at what I can do, but yeah, I'm not even close to ending to like end game stage here. So Emmy is the one who most needs this plant. He still never used that coal, by the way. But I think he needs to bid for this. Yep, there we go. This should go for a lot of money. Like, I'm pretty sure I would pay 50 for this, at least. More like 55, 60. Because what happens is, if we get a dud coming here, that might win the game for me, because if I get this plant at that price, I should be able to end the game on the next turn. Oh, I'm still paying. I'm still bidding for this. I am still bidding for this, baby. Okay, players dropping. Players dropping. We're cool with this. Emmy drops. Cool. 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 Me and Ligtreb. Alright. I'll bid. I'll bid. Because again, here's the deal. Again, 1 in 3 chance that 35 comes after this. But if it does come after this, it's going to get bid crazy high as well. It does come out. All right. That's not great for me, but it does mean this should get bid really high as well. So now the way I'm set up, I can end the game on the next turn. We just have to make sure this gets bid up so high that nobody can end the game this turn. Jonflagg, buddy, you need this plant. Please keep bidding, John. Okay. Please bid. Mastaba hopefully knows... Oh my god. That's probably going to win ligtreb the game, I guess. Yeah, this is actually bad for me now. I really had to hope that... The issue was if ligtreb got a 5 at all, like, ligtreb's likely beating me next turn. So... It's weird to me that jonflagg like won't bid on the big plants, but it'll buy 23. Everybody just buys stuff. Everybody buys stuff. This is really bad for me now. Yeah. No way I'm winning this game now, though. This might be... This Mastaba might end up winning this. Because I think we're going to a next turn here. Just... Ugh. I was betting on the 2 and 3 chance with my bidding on 34 there. Because if we get a dud happening there... I guess I should have seen jonflagg buying the... You know, buying the stupid... 23 plant anyway. I did not think he would do that. Now, if 12 came, then you wouldn't have bought shit. Well, I guess John would have bought 19 in that spot. I don't know. I'm not clear on, you know, what exactly is the way to handle there. I guess it's just... My thought was, bid the most you possibly can for 34 while still ending the game on the next turn. That was my thought. Because I guess I just thought that the market would completely stall if 12 or 23 came. But yeah. I came out real bad compared to ligtreb in that auction. So... Dion not going for the East Coast is interesting. Oh no, now he does. Except he's not blocking me. I see what he's trying to do. He wants to block ligtreb. There we go. So Emmy does block me a bit, although I can still get Boston. definitely want Boston. I think we want Buffalo. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll just take Buffalo and stop there. So my East Coast expansion went pretty well. Like, I'm guaranteed to stay below Ligtreb this turn, and Dion. Like Mastaba's the only player that can go below me. And Mastaba, he might feel kind of obliged to build more. Probably not, though. Yeah, he'll just stay bottom, which I think is okay. Mastaba's not the player I'm most worried blocking my builds, because I won't need very much out on the West Coast, if anything at all. Because I should still have Duluth and Omaha open, and then stuff around here. So I'll have options. Ligtreb building St. Louis. I get that they have the connection from the south, but still a little weird to build that instead of Chicago. Ooh, does Lig not have money? That would be encouraging if so. Still looks like Mastaba's game to me, though. I think in my spot... I think I still just run 34 and 29. Yeah, 34 and 29. Just run those plants. And then I can just keep my 1 coal and 29 and just do that. Yeah, sounds good. That was bad timing. Bad timing, though, on that 34. I don't know. I just didn't see other players buying stuff to move the market, you know? So what I have to do now is just accept that I'm only building to 14. I don't see myself buying a plant and getting 5 cities here. Yeah. At least we have you know, Emmett and John are players who need this plant. So we do have a couple people to bid on this at least. Emmy gets it for cheap though. Emmy might end up winning this. I don't know. The oil was pretty expensive for a good chunk of this game. It was also really cheap for a good chunk of the game too, though. I don't know. Yeah, Dion made a big mistake buying 27 in the previous turn, I think, because now like he's gonna have to replace that plant. He only gets one turn out of it, so it lost him a good chunk of money. Mastaba can bid on this a little bit, I think. Drive it up a little bit. Drive it up a little bit. So much trash in this game. I just realized we're going to have 4 trash plants being used at the end of the game. That's almost never seen, even in 6-player. Pass and let Mastaba take something. So, I'm not winning this game. It's just a question of who gets to 15 and who doesn't. Because I sure as shit don't have the money to. Had I not bought 34... Either 34 or 35. If I hadn't bought either of those plants and we'd made it to step 3, I likely win this game. But how am I supposed to know that people would actually buy plants and get to step 3 that quickly? That's what I think about. Like, I imagine I'm going to be the richest player at 14. It's just that 14 is not going to win this game. I'm building Duluth and Omaha for sure, because those do the most to block other players. Mastaba should build Fargo as well. Like, Mastaba can just build, like, these down here plus Fargo to get to 15. Yep. Okay. That makes sense. Because these will block both, like, all of Dion, Lig, and amitss. Those builds make the most sense. Oh, Dion gets to 15. Dang. I almost think Dion might win, actually. Dion did get 20 and 21 at cost. 39 wasn't too expensive either. Okay, ligtreb can't get... Okay, so I actually finish ahead of ligtreb at least. Cool. That's the player I was most worried about beating me at first. Emmy couldn't get to 15 either. Alright. So I finished above at least 2 people here. But yeah, it looks like Dion might win. Believe it or not. Nice game, Dion. Nice game, Dion. See? I thought Dion might win. jonflagg and I tied for 3rd. Wow. Alright. Oh yeah, Dion had a pretty decent margin of victory there. $16 ahead of Mastaba. Yep. Getting 20 and 21 both at cost, that helps a lot in 5 and 6 player. All right, I got some shit to do. I got to go to the bank here before it closes in less than an hour or so. See y'all later. And big congrats again to Dion. Your first game on the channel here, and you win it. You win a freaking 6-player, no less. Great job. So, even with that mistake of buying 27, Dion ends up winning it. Very nice, very nice. Lesson to me for talking shit then, huh? Alright, see you later.